One thing I learned in life is that you should never say what you'll never do because you'll end up doing it. You know, I swore that I would never pay over 50 bucks for a pair of sunglasses. Yet here's Tight Shirt Terry Warfield strapping on a pair of $300 Ray-Ban Meta glasses. You know, I went to a Sony event like 2 months ago, and of course all of my camera nerd YouTube D-bag friends had on Ray-Ban Metas, and I was like, let me try those. And then after I tried them, I was like, yeah, I need a pair. So I went and got a pair, and I've been rocking them every day for about the last 2 months. So in this video, I want to share the good, the bad, and the ugly, because there's some ugly about the Ray-Ban Meta smart glasses. Let's go. So Terry, just what in the heck are these things? Okay, if you've never seen the Ray-Ban Metas before, these are actually a follow-up to Ray-Ban's initial pair of smart glasses called the Ray-Ban Stories. They look like a regular pair of sunglasses, except for they're connected to Meta. So, you know, feel how you want to feel about Meta stealing your data if you think you're that important that they will mine you and, you know, track you and all that other good stuff. But they are connected to Meta and Instagram. Okay, so Facebook and Instagram. But they do have a camera built into it, so you can take photos and videos, POV style. They have speakers on them, so you can listen to music. They have microphones on them, so you can, you know, have conversations on them. They have a voice assistant built into it, and there are two different types. There's the Wayfarers, which are these. They also have the headliners too. Now, I'm not a big fan of the headliners, but they have them in a ton of different color options, lens options, all that good stuff. So you'll have to go on Ray-Ban's website and you can pick through all of the freaking options yourself. Now, these are the amber ones. Right now, when we initially went into the Ray-Ban store, I was freaking dead set on getting a pair of transitions because I didn't want to be that, you know, D-bag indoors with a dark pair of shades on. And if I'm gonna spend this kind of money on a pair of sunglasses, I didn't want to just wear them for half the day when it's bright outside. So I wanted to get transitions. Well, when we went into the Ray-Ban store, they didn't have any transitions that I wanted, at least. And then I saw these sitting right on the counter. I was like, what are those? Them look kind of dope. You know, they look, I think, at least I would think that these would look decent on my brown skin, right? So these are actually the amber color. What I love about these is they're stylish, but they don't cut out a whole lot of light, which some of you will say, oh, that's, you know, kind of pointless if I want sunglasses. But remember, I didn't want glasses that I could only wear half the day. Well, with the amber joints, because they aren't really dark at all, I wear these inside all the time with no problem seeing. They only cut out a tiny bit of light. When you go outside on a sunny day, it's really just taking the edge off of the harsh light, right? But they also give everything a nice amber tint. So you know them gloomy days where it's raining and all that stuff, and when you put these on, it turns it into a sunny day, which I really like about these glasses. But what I will tell you is I've been wearing these almost every day. There's been nobody that's come up to me like, hey, do you have on smart glasses? No, that's because they look, they feel just like a regular pair of sunglasses. Now, if we were to walk around the glasses, on the right-hand side, there's a touchpad over here that you can use to adjust the volume. You can summon Spotify's DJ service, which is actually pretty dope now that I start using it, okay? So you can't like trigger one of your own playlists or select like a specific song, but if you tap and hold on it, it'll start. And you could change this stuff through the Meta app, but it'll start the Spotify DJ service, which it will go through and curate all of the music that you listen to, and it'll put it in like a happy mood, a sad mood, and he'll talk to you. He sounds like a regular person, like a regular DJ on the radio. Like, yo, Terry, since you listened to X, Y, and Z last week, I'm gonna play a playlist that matches these songs, but I'm only gonna play it for a little bit, and then I'm gonna switch it up, and it switches it up. So it's actually a fire service. On the top, the button to start and stop recording or take a photo is right up here. You do get a LED indicator inside and up front when you start and stop recording. So let me go ahead and trigger this real quick. Wrong side, okay. But boom, now that I'm recording, you get a flashing light right here that lets you know that I'm recording. If you try to cover this up, the camera won't freaking function. Ray-Ban and Meta are smart enough to know that there's privacy concerns and all that stuff with these glasses, so just keep that in mind. But there's the LED, and I can also see an LED in here when I start and stop recording. To stop, I'm just gonna turn it off. On the other side, this is pretty bare bones over here, but there is a switch on the inside to turn the Metas on and off. Really solid pair of sunglasses. They look great, they feel great, they're very well constructed. They are plastic, but they feel sturdy. But there's so much more to talk about when it comes to the Ray-Ban Metas. So let's go. Since we was just talking about music, I do want to talk about speakers real quick, because honestly, this is what I use the Ray-Ban Metas the most for, is music. So these have speakers, two speakers, one built into each arm of the Ray-Ban Metas, and they are not bone conduction. They're like down firing at an angle straight into your ear canals. And I think they sound really, really good. Obviously, we can't expect much out of them because they're tiny freaking speakers, but I think between like 50 to 70% is the sweet spot, because at those volumes, nobody can hear what you're listening to. So whether you're listening to a phone call, a podcast, music, like nobody can hear it. So you could be in the grocery store with your Ray-Ban Metas on dancing, and people like, he ain't got no AirPods in. What is he jamming to? Not knowing that you got music coming out of your sunglasses. Now, when you crank them all the way up to 100, they do get the sound and, you know, pretty tinny, and don't expect much bass out of these because they're tiny freaking speakers. But honestly, I prefer using these over my AirPods because I hate stuff sticking in my ears, and I don't have to worry about transparency mode because I can always hear what's going on around me. Now, obviously, if you want louder, if you want more punch, more bass, get you a pair of headphones, but being able to listen to freaking music from the glasses on your face is clutch. Also, you can take phone calls on these. We'll talk about this in a second, but because we are talking about audio and speakers, you can have the glasses announce when you get a phone call. You can have them announce when you get a text message from somebody. It'll tell you what the message is, who it's from, all that other good stuff. You can turn that on in the app. I do want to talk about calls because honestly, that is where, for me, the biggest problem comes in. But before that, I want to talk about the camera because this little thing right here can get you in a whole lot of trouble, okay? We're going to talk about it. So first of all, there's a 12 megapixel camera on the left-hand side, and this gives you 12 megapixel photos. It only does it in portrait and also 1080p 30 video only in portrait. There's no way to go to landscape. There's no way to adjust anything when it comes to the photo or video, so you can't go like adjust the sharpening, shutter speed, ISO, none of that stuff. It exposes everything automatically. It stabilizes everything automatically. I wish that there was a 4K option. I don't know if the camera inside the glasses are capable of 4K. I mean, you would think with all of these freaking tiny micro 4K cameras out there that they could have stuffed a 4K camera in here, but that's rather disappointing, right? And I get it, if we would have went up to 4K, we probably would have sacrificed some storage and battery life, which I'll talk about that in 1 second, but it would have been nice to have the freaking option. But anyways, 1080p 30 video, and that is all. Now, the photo and video quality is decent. I mean, I would probably put it on par with like an iPhone 11, iPhone 12. It's nothing to write home about. I've never looked at a, video out of the glasses like, oh, this looks so good. Man, this water is cold. I know it's 50 degrees outside, but this water sure don't feel like it. And see, this is a perspective that you just would have to get another POV camera to do, but you could use this like with the glasses on your face, which is dope. And I do have the microphone adjustment, which I may or may not have talked about yet, but I have that turned on so you can hear what the audio sounds like. But it's the perspective that really makes it interesting, because there's not too many other devices out there that you can strap to your face and then film stuff POV style, like drinking coffee or anything where both of your hands are in a photo. In fact, I've posted a lot of things from the Ray-Ban Metas on Instagram, and a lot of people are like, oh, how did you get that? How did you get that shot? Hey man, it's the glasses on my face. During the daytime, everything looks, like I said, fine, acceptable. It does a good job exposing outdoors. It does a good job exposing faces. The stabilization works great outside. But the problem is when you get to lower light, everything falls apart. And I'm talking about everything. They'll still capture the moment for you, but it's not anything to write home about. Now, to get the photos and videos off, you have to connect the glasses to the Meta app, and it imports it directly to your phone. It's actually super quick, and the glasses do have 32 gigabytes of onboard storage. So Meta says, or Ray-Ban, one of them says that it'll store 100 30-second videos or 1,000 photos, if I'm not mistaken, 32 gigabytes worth until you dump it onto your phone. Now, you can live stream with these directly to Facebook or Instagram. And it's actually dope because you'll get a button on the screen that allows you to go back and forth between the phone and what the glasses see. So the last time I did one, I was drinking a cup of coffee and everybody was asking like, how do you have both hands in the shot? Well, it's the freaking glasses on my face. So I think my major gripe with this is the fact that the camera is on the left-hand side. So that means anytime I'm trying to frame something, everything is always not centered because the lens is on this side and there's no way to preview it. So you have to learn to start adjusting, you know, your face to shoot like this off at an angle to get everything perfectly straight. And I mean, I guess if they had put the lens right here, we would have walked around looking like freaking dorks, but you know, it is what it is. Overall, they are fine for capturing POV stuff to transfer directly to social media, but don't expect anything more of it than that. But with that, it does its job. I will say that the perspective is very interesting, and you can't get anything else like it unless you want to strap an action camera to your freaking forehead. Would you look at this? It's 55 in freaking December, so I'm gonna take this opportunity to wash Blue Magic because she ain't had a wash in about 3 months, right? I don't know why it's so warm outside. And by the way, I'm listening to music right now on my Ray-Ban Metas, which is so dope because I don't have in AirPods or anything like that. But before I go get the wash bucket and all that other stuff, I wanna take this opportunity to talk about what I feel like is the biggest flaw with the Ray-Ban Metas. And I'm gonna call it a flaw because it is a flaw. So I remember being in New York, you know, everybody was raving about the call quality, how good it sounded. Oh, people say these calls sound better than my AirPods, blah, blah, blah. And when I got mine, I started to make phone calls and people, I remember being in the airport on the way back from New York, nobody could hear me. People, Terry, I can't hear you, it sounds muffled. And I'm like, is it my glasses that's the problem? So what happened was I started to pull out the voice memos app on my phone and I recorded myself using the Ray-Ban Metas, and yeah, it sounded horrible. Nobody could hear me. It was straight muffled, and I thought that maybe something was wrong with my glasses. So immediately I'm like, yo, I'm about to go to the Ray-Ban store. As soon as I touch down, I could get back to the mall, go take them back. But something told me to go search on Reddit, okay, for Ray-Ban Meta microphone problems, and lo and behold, a whole subreddit popped up with people having so many problems with the microphones, okay? So basically, the issue with the Metas is although they have 5 microphones, only one of them is dedicated to voice calls, which is silly, but that microphone literally sits right on top of your nose. Now, for most people, this is not a problem. But if you have a fat schnoz like Tyson Terry was, then yes, it is a problem because my fat schnoz blocks the microphone port of the Ray-Ban Metas, literally rendering them useless for phone calls. Now, there was a temporary fix. You could order these little spacers off of Amazon. They were like $3 and they will lift the glasses up off your nose about 1 or 2 millimeters, and they work fine. When I put those on there, all the complaints about call quality and everything, literally they stopped. But I didn't like how it would, you know, even though it was only a tiny amount, make the glasses sit up above my nose. So thankfully, Ray-Ban must have heard all of the complaints in the forum and all that stuff, and they put out a software update for the Ray-Ban Metas. I'll actually show you exactly what it says or read it to you. So it says at the top, when you go to help and support in the MetaView app, having trouble with voice commands or call quality, glasses, microphones might need to be adjusted. You press adjust now, there's a selector to turn on the option, and what I suspect is this turns on the other microphones to allow them to be used as voice microphones also, instead of just the one under the nose. Now, this has alleviated some of the problem. I can take most phone calls. I do have to talk a bit louder, which I don't like, but I do still get the occasional, oh, Terry, I can't hear you. So for me, I would say that these glasses are flawed because I think Ray-Ban should have thought about this or tested it more thoroughly before they put it out there. And maybe it was just a space constraint. Maybe they couldn't put a main microphone right here because maybe it's just not enough space. But neither here nor there, definitely something to be mindful. If you pick up a pair, test it out before you make the decision if you want to keep them. Now, for people that have no problems out of it, the microphone does sound great, and I think it's dope that you can literally, you know, be in the store or something like that talking on the phone and people not know you're talking on the phone because you don't have on AirPods or anything like that. I mean, they might look at you like you crazy, like who is it? Why is this person talking to themselves? But again, the fact that we can make a phone call from glasses and listen to music like I'm doing right now and take photos and video is fire. Now, I also want to talk about the battery life because that's also important. Let's get it. And I gotta go wash her. I'll be back anyways. All right, let's talk about battery life real quick. So this is the case that the Ray-Ban Metas come in. It's also the charger case. And as you saw, there's an LED indicator right on the front to let you know that the glasses case is charged up. Now the case by itself holds about 32 hours of juice in it for the Ray-Ban Metas, okay? So if I take this out, let's go ahead and put these on because, you know, we can wear these indoors because I picked the amber frames. Boom, boom. Hey. The battery life out of these things, I'm just gonna be honest with you, is not that great. But I feel like it's also not fair to hold these to a high standard because it is a pair of freaking glasses, okay? So the battery inside them is tiny. Under normal circumstances, you're gonna get between like 3 to 4 hours of use. But once you start taking a bunch of photos and videos, listening to music and using Meta AI, you could drain the battery very, very quickly in the glasses. The good thing though, is once you put them inside the charger case, they charge up super duper fast. So, you know, in the typical realm of you removing your glasses or sunglasses and putting them in the case, by the time you even realize they're charging, you take them back out the case, they got enough juice. Anyways, let's talk about Meta AI because it's actually useful. So to summon Meta AI, you just say, hey Meta. Woo, that's the noise it makes. And then you ask it something. What's the weather gonna be like tomorrow?
In Ohio, United States,
tomorrow,
December 18th, will experience sleet with a high of
Sleet with a high of 43 Fahrenheit. Okay.
90% chance of precipitation.
Still talking. Now, you can also do things like make phone calls from the glasses. Hey Meta, call Kenny Boy.
On your phone, call Kenny Boy, right?
Yes.
Calling Kenny Boy on your phone.
Now it's calling Kenny Boy. So Meta AI is pretty useful now right now because it's in its infancy. It works just like Siri and, you know, all the other voice assistant apps, but there are some people who have beta access to some of the Meta AI stuff, and it's pretty wild. Like the glasses will be able to take a picture of something and identify it and bring up places you can buy it and stuff on your phone. So Facebook does promise that there's way more stuff coming, and honestly, I'm excited for it. Now that I got all this stuff out the way, let's go ahead and wrap up this this long and drawn out review. All right, I just left the gym and I'm pretty sure I look like a straight thug right now. Actually, I do, but I promise I'm not. Listen, I love these Ray-Ban Metas. I'm not gonna lie. I initially was going to return them because I felt like they were overpriced and, you know, it wasn't necessarily something that I needed. But the more and more I wear them, the more and more I get used to them, the more and more useful that they get. And I'm gonna be honest, the novelty does not wear off. Being able to have all this stuff on my face on a pair of glasses that I'm already gonna wear is dope. They're not especially good at any one thing, but they're good enough at a few different things. Terry, what are you talking about? So for example, are AirPods better? Obviously they're better. However, being able to leave my AirPods at the house because my glasses, I can listen to music on them, I can make phone calls on them, I can summon the voice assistant and all of that stuff on them while not having anything in my ears, which is a huge thing for me because I hate stuff being in my ears. That's a W. Another example, I have action cameras, a whole bunch of them, but sometimes I just don't bring them because they're freaking hassle. Well, I have a POV action camera right on my face. Is it the best? Could it compete with like one of my dedicated action cameras when it comes to video quality or photo quality? No, but again, the point is it's already on my face and it saves me a device that I don't have to bring. Also, you never get sick of the cool factor. When people figure out that you're listening to freaking music and taking pictures and videos on your glasses, they like, whoa, what is that? You know, this is still such a new thing that people are just aren't used to it. You know, there's privacy concerns. I get all that stuff. Some of y'all don't want to give you information or Meta, you know, like Meta is out to get you or something like that. I mean, I guess I get it, but neither here nor there. At the end of the day, I do think they're a fun pair of glasses. The few things that I wish that they would change, the first thing, obviously, I don't like the microphone arrangement. I wish Ray-Ban could have figured out something different for people with fat noses like I got, but that's one thing. The second thing is I do wish that the battery life was a tad longer. I mean, again, I know I said this earlier in the video, we can't expect a whole lot. It's a tiny pair of glasses, so you know, there's that, but you know, I do wish the battery was a little bit longer. And then lastly, I do wish that there was more functionality because at the core of it, it's a pretty bare bones pair of glasses until you fire up the Ray-Ban Meta app. So if you're expecting these to, you know, project holographs and all that stuff like we saw in the Jetsons 40 years ago, this is not that pair of glasses yet, okay? But I just wish that there were more features available right now at the time of making this video. I know Ray-Ban has promised updates and this, that, and the third. Some people are already getting beta updates, but you know, I just wish that there was more for the money at the end of the day. So with that being said, if you got $300 to $400 and you want to test them out, you want a dope pair of Ray-Bans, because even if you don't use the smart features, they still a dope pair of Ray-Bans. then go do it. You won't regret it. I really enjoy using these glasses, and you know, I'm glad that I kept them and I didn't return them. So let me know what y'all think down in the comment section. I hope this video was helpful and not too long and drawn out, but you know, I try to give y'all all the sauce. I'm out of here. Tyson Terror Warfare, peace and chicken grease. Much love, y'all. Peace.
I think I'm playing chess, I see a king, I'm at his neck. I'm 3 steps ahead of every move, now that's a check. Yes, they wanna know my secret, it's because I never slept. All my nightmares of me at 40, life's a wreck. See my dad, he in debt, and my mom, she upset. That's way back when 4